Hello, today is the Monday before the Resurrection Sunday, and it is our Easter week devotional. Today is the first day of that. And so we just want to, let's read the passage and then let's just get a little meditation on it. John chapter 12, verses 1 through 11. This is where Jesus goes to Bethany. It says, "Therefore Jesus, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. So they made him a supper there, and Martha was serving. But Lazarus was one of those reclining at the table with him. Mary then took a pound of very costly perfume of pure nard, and anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the whole house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But Judas Iscariot, one of the disciples who was intending to betray him, said, Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor people?" Now, he said this not because he was concerned about the poor, but because he was a thief. And as he had the money box, he used to pilfer what was put into it. Therefore Jesus said, "Let her alone, so that she may keep it for the day of my burial. For you always have the poor with you, but you will not always have me." The large crowd of Jews then learned that he was there, and they came not for Jesus' sake only, but they might also see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. And the chief priests planned to put Lazarus to death also, because on account of him many of the Jews were going away and believing in Jesus. So wow, what a passage, what a challenge, what an event. I think we read this and we kind of lightly read over it. I don't know if we think we're reading a fiction book or something, but when you read this, look at what this says again. Jesus, therefore, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. So they made a supper for him there. So you just kind of read over that first sentence and don't let it sit into what it is that you're reading. Folks, Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. That is amazing. That is an incredible power that Jesus had. That is beyond anything we've ever seen or understood. That is supernatural. This was evidence of the greatness and the power of Jesus, whom we believe in the Bible teaches that he was God on the earth. And he resurrected Lazarus from the dead. There should be like 6 exclamation points. Whom Jesus had raised from the dead. Like, this is an amazing reality. I think we read it and we're just so used to miracles in the life of Jesus, we kind of take those things for granted rather than being jaw-droppingly amazed at it. Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. You know, my father passed away a couple years ago, my stepfather, and I love him. He was a good man. And I remember going in to the room where his body was, after he'd passed away. And I'd never, ever felt a dead body. And I touched him just to say goodbye, and I prayed. But I touched the body, and it's anyone who's touched a dead body knows what I'm talking about. It's such a weird, surreal feeling because it's cold and hard, and there's no warmth, no movement. And it was death. It was dead. And Lazarus was like that. Can you imagine? I would have freaked out if 3 days later I was sitting there maybe having lunch with my wife or something, and my stepfather would have walked in the room like, "Hey, how's it going? How are y'all doing?" And so here you have Lazarus. He was reclining at the table with Jesus like nothing happened. Incredible power, the power of the resurrection. And this was just kind of a foretaste of what Jesus did when he died on the cross for us. And resurrected on the third day. I just want to encourage you as you face Easter week, as we face this together in this whole world crisis that we're in. We serve a God who has the power of resurrection in his hands, and we are promised the resurrection. Just as Jesus was resurrected, we will be resurrected. And this is not the end. This is the beginning of our journey. Let's follow God with a pure heart and be amazed by what he does on a regular basis, because our God is amazing. God is amazing. And, I think Mary's anointing of the feet with the pure, costly, essential oil, the pure nard, I think that was an example of her gratefulness. I think she was reacting to everything that he had done for her and her family. And I think as God moves in us, that is our reaction. We sacrifice, we give, we serve. And it was a beautiful gesture. Jesus honored her. It was kind of sad that, what's his name? The bad guy. Judas wanted to, take that money for himself rather than honor God by receiving that gift that was for the Lord. And anyway, may the Lord bless you. Be in awe at the amazing power of God, and let him continue to transform you from the inside out. Have a great Monday. Be blessed.